SeerNova Podcast, episode 104. We have Russell Allen. What's up?
Well, at least it's 104 and it's not 404. Like this is an error or something.
Yeah, like my
Welcome to episode 404.
Yeah, now we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to remember that, Greg. We're gonna look up other server errors like error 103 and see if that's. I know it's already at 104. I wonder if that is a server error.
Yeah.
No, I think the 500s are server errors.
I don't want to name it that 404. Like that's the episode.
Error.
If we get to 400 episodes, like 404 episodes, that'll be hilarious.
Error 104 cannot request exclusive semaphores at interrupt time. I don't know what a semaphore is, but yeah.
Did you say whores? Oh no, yeah. Semaphores. I'm sorry.
No, semi-whores, yeah.
Semi-whores. So only when they're at Chili's on a Friday night.
Yeah.
So how you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Doing excellent, and I'm antivirus free.
Antivirus free. Yeah, so, I love it.
Who are you, and what do you do?
Wait, Greg, I just realized you ever played the intro.
No, I'm gonna do that later.
Ah, okay. I was gonna say, but just skipping past it. I was like, "Where's our cool little 10-second clip that makes everyone awkward?"
We'll just do that.
Who is your daddy and what does he do? So I am Russell Allen with Russ Explode Studios. I am a podcaster. I am an author, card game creator, and a newly comic creator, and as well as a member of CB4K, that's Comic Books for Kids, that helps send coloring books, comic books, pop figurines, Pez dispensers, and stuffed animals to cancer centers and hospitals across the nation to help give kids, solace, hope, and strength. So, got a lot of stuff going on. Super busy dude all the time.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds awesome.
So you have a Kickstarter that is coming soon. So CatCat and Piggy Girl. So what's the little elevator pitch for that, I guess?
Well, I don't know that there's a little elevator pitch for it. So like Steph Wilson and Carrie and my wife and I were all hanging out. We were talking about, things. A great idea to do for the charity would be to write a book, a comic book that not only, we could raise money to print other books to send to the charity. And well, first the idea was to raise money to send to the charity. And I'm like, well, what about if we wrote the book geared towards children, raised money and sent the books? Because, there's not a lot of content that's geared towards kids in hospitals and stuff like that. There's more kids comic books, but not kids to help them feel involved into the comic book. So I tasked myself with writing a book that would not only be cute for adults to read, it would be fun for kids, it'd give them hope, and it'd give them an idea of ways to cope with being in the hospital. I mean, we're all in this era of COVID where, there's still hospitals that are on lockdown. Kids are going through chemo treatments by themselves because you're receiving chemotherapy, you are immunocompromised. So, if you got parents, you got siblings and stuff coming in and out of the hospital, you got a high possibility of transmitting, sickness to your child. They're not going to allow you to be there. So imagine that you're 6 or 7 years old and you're going through chemotherapy and you're doing this alone. I mean, stuff that most adults can't even tough going through. It's hard for a kid. So I thought for over a month, I'm like, every idea I came up with was stupid. And, to give you a little bit of backstory, my son's had 2 open heart surgeries. He just turned 7 last month. He had open heart surgery at a week old and his second one at 2.5. So, we see the benefit that these kids receive from receiving stuff in the hospital. Roderick, when he had his second open heart surgery, we sat in a telephone booth for 12 hours waiting for that phone call that our son made it. We go upstairs, he's inconsolable, rolling all over, he's in pain, we can't settle him down. We're like, what do we do? And the nurse comes in with a Spider-Man Hot Wheel, like it's 99-cent toy, like a superhero, and like all of a sudden he forgets he's in pain. So, that's how CB4K and I kind of found each other 6 months later, and I became a member of the charity. So that's a little backstory that's kind of needed to move forward with talking about CatCat and Piggy Girl. So I'm laying in bed one night, like a month after this, and I'm like, I've got it. And my wife's like, you got what? COVID? What do you got? And I'm like, CatCat and Piggy Girl. She's like, what is CatCat and Piggy Girl? And I'm like, think about it. what is the one thing Roderick always takes to the hospital? You know, when he's had his cardiac cast, he's had 3 of those done. He's had his open heart surgery. The one thing he always takes to the hospital with him is his favorite stuffed animal, CatCat. You know, CatCat, I got him. It's a cat from Purina Farms. I got him when Roderick was like 6 months old. We took him to Purina Farms. It's like, I don't know, 10 miles from our house. They do stuff on Halloween, hay rides and stuff. They get to pet a bunch of animals. And that was one thing he picked out in the gift shop was this Purina Farms cat. And that became his favorite thing. And he called it CatCat because when he was a kid, when he was really young, he double worded everything. So it'd be dad, or, you know, cat. And then, you know, when Adriana was born, she was a month old, so I kept with it. And when we went for Halloween, because she was born in October, she was a month old, I let her pick out one, and she picked out the pig with the Purina Farms t-shirt. So that was Pia, as she called it then, because she couldn't pronounce piggy, and now it's piggy. But it used to be Pia, but I didn't think Pia Girl would, you know, be easy to translate over into a book. But I'm like, here's this great idea. Like, what if Roderick and Adriana, my kids, discovered that their stuffed animals had superpowers, and what if they gained their superpowers and became CatCat and Piggy Girl? Like, it would be an awesome thing because 3 things are going to happen here. For one, most kids are going to have a stuffed animal with them at the hospital. If they don't, they might even actually have one that was provided by CB4K, and then now they got the CB4K comic book about stuffed animal superheroes. So this story will not only is it cute, it'll keep them occupied, it'll give them a great fun story to read about these 2 kids, but they can then go on superhero adventures with their stuffed animals. Say, you know, little Timmy's got his giraffe with him, you know, he can be Giraffe Boy or whatever. And then now all of a sudden he's thinking about that and forgetting about all these treatments he's going through or being in the hospital or being in pain from surgery. And so then I kind of spurred forward with the idea. And I'm like, not only can this be a great thing for kids to give them imagination, but what if I started a page and allowed kids that have read this book, with their parents' permission, of course, to post pictures of them with their stuffed animal going on adventures in the hospital, and gave them an opportunity to win a chance of me randomly choosing one of the kids each month or each, you know, few months to be a sidekick in issue 2, in issue 3, in issue 4. So now you've got 3 things. You've got a book that's going to entertain them. You've got the idea in their head now. They can go on adventures with their own stuffed animal. And you've got them excited because, Mom, Dad, I could be in the next issue. You know, put a picture of me with my rhino. Put a picture of me with my favorite teddy bear. And, you know, so now they're excited. You know, as a kid, just the thought of, you know, winning anything to us was great. Like, you know, I'll never forget the excitement of when Sears ran this thing about, you know, draw your dad, and, you know, for Father's Day. And I was in Sears and I drew my dad. I gave him like nuts for eyes, and then he had like a wrench for a nose, and like I don't even remember what I made his mouth out of. But like Sears calls my mom and she's like, "Who is this?" And my dad won a $500, you know, tool gift card to go pick out tools for Father's Day because of my drawing. And like I didn't win anything, but I was excited because I won something. So just, you know, the thought of, you know, entering something and being able to win a chance, I thought was a great idea, because these kids can go on there, and then not only will it be a great thing for that, the third thing that I wanted to get to is it creates a community. You got a community of kids that all like this comic book that can talk about the book. You have this community of kids that are all going through stuff. So say, you know, Timmy gets on there and, you know, he's going in for chemo the first time and he's scared. And you've got 800 other kids there on the site that have been through chemo or who've been through open heart surgery. They can go on there and say, "Hey, it's okay. You know, I've had this done. What are you having done? What's wrong?" Now you've got a support system set up of people that are like-minded, the same age, and that can, you know, work this kid through this and help calm them down, give them hope, and let them not be scared about it. So that's what this comic book's about. CatCat and Piggy Girl is about my 2 kids and how they become CatCat and Piggy Girl, how they find out that their stuffed animals have superpowers and they go off on their first adventure. So this kind of entails, you know, them becoming the superheroes, and he gives a little backstory to them and, you know, me as dad. And, you know, from here on out, the sky's the limit. I'm looking at having a lot of fun with this and keeping this going nonstop.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, just thinking like all the stuff that you're doing is all the stuff a kid kind of needs. You're giving him escapism from his current problems, something to look forward to for potentially, being in a comic, and you're building a community around them. So like it's very powerful.
Yeah. You're like the Patch Adams of comic books.
Well, and that's the thing, they say the comic book's a dying era, and a lot of kids these days, they don't like comic books. So this is like a double-edged sword. Not only are we helping kids, but we're also helping the comic community. Because the more comics that can get into kids' hands, the more kids that are going to get into comics. I mean, that'll give them escapism not only through, the story and the community, but it'll give them escapism finding a new vice. Instead of being addicted to TikTok or Facebook, and now they're addicted to Batman and SeerNova Chronicles and all these different things, or they find out this whole new world exists. Like I knew Spider-Man was a cartoon and a movie. I didn't know comic books even still existed. So I mean, this is opening them up to a whole new world, and it could possibly help get more kids into comic books and keep our industry alive.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's actually interesting. One of the things that, like, because I've heard that before. Like, I actually was just talking to someone this weekend about comic books, and like, aren't they kind of dying? And it's like, not really. Like, with the fact that, what's it called? The major Comic Cons, like New York Comic Con and with the San Diego Comic Con, the fact that they're growing every single year just is partial proof that they're not dying. Because yes, there's people that go there for film, but there are way more people that are there for like specific comics. I've seen tons of people at those conventions that are dressed as characters I've never heard of, and it's because they're actually like an independent comic that I haven't heard of, and that means that they're big enough, someone's willing to dress up as them. They just don't have the widespread notice that Marvel or DC has. And the fact that, and I've mentioned this before in other podcasts, the company IT Comics that Tom Bilyeu from Impact Theory ended up creating, he's partnering with people in the music industry, because in the music industry, comics are still a big deal. A lot of people in the hip hop community, for example, that was what they grew up on. And now there's younger hip hop artists that are still interested in it. I remember mentioning to a local artist here that, oh yeah, I have a comic book company. We have our own comics created. And one thing we were, thinking about was connecting with musicians. And he's like, oh, how much would it cost for me to have my own comic? Right? Like to have a comic for me, for like my fans. And it's like that. So people are still very much interested in it. It's just more that I think that the same with like the movies, where people, keep making the same thing over and over again. They're just bored with it. They don't know that there's a bunch of independent comic creators out there creating very interesting stories. And the fact that there's comic book for kids, like that's a way better, thing for kids to learn how to read. That's in fact, that's something when you want to learn a new language. Like that's one of the easiest ways to learn a new language is to read comic books, because they're more conversational. They're not, long dialogues. And so by doing that for kids, they can learn, their native language. They can learn foreign language. You can do so much with comics for kids. So like, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I kind of waited to tell Mark about it. So like the way I became a member of CB4K, Roderick had his open heart surgery and the Monday after Thanksgiving in 2017. And so it was shortly after that I found Hooked on Comics, which is the shop that I buy from in Pennsylvania. And every Saturday they did a charity raffle where you'd send in $10, you get put on a wheel and you could win a book. But I heard the spiel about comic books for kids, and it's like, this is something that, sounds like, kind of what Roderick got while he was in the hospital. I'd like to support something like that and, be able to give back tenfold, because, it's not just a great thing for the kids, it's a great thing for the parents. I mean, the time when they brought in that Spider-Man car, we were exhausted. I mean, we sat in a room the size of a telephone booth for 12 hours, not knowing if our kid was going to make it or not. And so then we go upstairs and we're exhausted and we're trying to console him and get him to sit still. And all of a sudden he's got this car and he's like, don't even care that we're up there anymore. And so we go and sit in the couch and we were able to be there for each other and decompress for the day a little bit. And so it's good for the parents as well. So I was like, I want to give back to something like this tenfold. So what I did was, I started giving to CB4K through that raffle every week. I'd send 10, 20, $30, whatever I could every Saturday. And then in 2019, I met Mark, which is the owner creator of CB4K at C2E2 in Chicago. And I told him, I said, thanks for everything that you do. You don't understand the impact that, it makes on the parents as much as it does the kids. You guys always talk about the kids, but it really helps the parents too, because, we have a tool that is now laid in front of us to actually help our kids. So it gives us time to de-stress. And, you got to meet Roderick. And so fast forward to 2020, I funded Xenonanite Titan, The Fall Before the Rise, which is the first novel that
Oh, Greg, make him full screen so we can see that in detail.
So in 2020, I
Nice.
published my first novel. They found a tumor on my liver. They thought I had cancer. The hospital shut down. And this is a book that I wrote 10 years ago. It's a trilogy. This is the first book in the trilogy. And so it's got, with COVID and everything happened, I'll show some of these images on the inside. I actually commissioned indie artists. So there's Steph Wilson. And then here's one of my good friends, Ed Williams, who helped me work on the concept art. And then, where's Armando's? Let's go to chapter 5. We got Armando Ramirez. This is one of my favorite pieces in here. Right here. So this is the Scepter Brute from the story, and my character
Yeah,
with
that's
his
crazy.
And so, this was a story that I had a lot of passion about. I wrote this 10 years ago. It's about a father who gets thrown into adversity. He's on leave spending time with his family. He gets called back to work because there's an emergency, and an accident happens, casts him in the far reaches of space. He doesn't know where he's at, where the earth is, if his family's still alive. And this is the story of a father fighting his way back to find out, is his family still alive? Does the earth still exist? And he's got this experimental technology that he's been working on for several years, and that's all he's got at his disposal. And so, that kind of kicked me in the ass, finding out, hey, there's a significant evidence of malignancy. And oh, by the way, COVID, we're shutting down. You may or may not have cancer. We'll get with you when we open back up. So in March of 2020, I put Russ Explode Studios together. I started pushing hardcore more into doing indie podcasts, helping indie creators, authors, and stuff out. I hit up indie artists, got my book edited, and I pushed it on Kickstarter in November. The first Kickstarter failed, but I don't call it a failure because I had Steph Wilson draw up a shirt that said, "I'm a Titan for CB4K." And it had me as Xenonanite Titan reading a book to Roderick in a bed after an open heart surgery with Adriana at the end of the bed with a get well balloon. And like I said, it said, "I'm a Titan for CB4K." Unofficially, officially, all proceeds from that shirt were going to CB4K. Well, Mark, gets on Facebook and sees this post. "Hey, get this T-shirt. All proceeds are going to CB4K." And he's like, "Oh, I love the T-shirt. That's awesome." I get a message from, his daughter. "Dad wants to talk to you. Call him." And I'm like, "Oh man, I messed up. I didn't ask for permission to do this." So I call him up. I'm like, "Hey, Mark, what's up, man?" He's like, "Russ, what's going on?" He's like, "Love what you did with the T-shirt." He's like, "You wouldn't believe it. I logged on Facebook this morning. It was the first thing on my feed that I seen." He's like, "I gotta say, how would you like to be the official T-shirt supplier of CB4K?" And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "No, no, man." He's like, "You don't understand. I've been reaching out to people for months. I can't get answers back on doing T-shirts. This is something we've been wanting to do for a long time." And I get on Facebook, and it's like, it's like a godsend. It was destiny, fate for me to get on here and see this. He's like, how would you like to do it?" And I'm like, "All right, I'll work on it." So, March of last year, I launched the website. I relaunched the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter funded at 200%. I got the book published and it's printed and out there. If you'd like to get a copy, you can go to xenonanitetitan.com, spelled just like you see it there. And you can also go there and get one of these fine T-shirts. We've got one from Rodney Fike. We've got one from April Grady Reyna. We've got a shirt from Wendy Steen Shaner. We've got the Mark CB4K, which is the Iron Man logo with the CB4K. It's not Iron Man. It's Mark from Mark CB4K. Get it, Mark. Mark 42. Anyway, so and you can get the official CB4K T-shirt and the unofficial, because the slogan's actually "I'm a champion for CB4K," and this is "I'm a titan for CB4K." You can still get that shirt on there too. All proceeds from every one of those shirts go straight to CB4K.org. There they are, right there. So we got hoodies, we got tank tops. There's the Mark CB4K. You just went over it right there. It's got the arc reactor. And then there it is right there. I'm a Titan for CB4K. So that's me reading a book to Roderick with Sissy at the end of the bed. But I've got everything on here, folks. We've got, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. We've got adult, we've got kids. And then we got all kinds of great stuff. And as of course too, we've got the book. Unfortunately, proceeds from that go to help make book 2. So you can support me through buying that book, or you can support CB4K from buying one of those shirts. So this was kind of like the venture that opened me up. And in March, the book funded. I printed it. I launched the official website with the T-shirts, and Mark made me an official member of CB4K. So with that being said, I have also started Russ Explode Studio charity auctions for CB4K. We got all kinds of cool stuff like this right here. I've got this up there for available for auction. This is a limited print with COA glass framed from Elias Chadzaudas and of Lady Death. You can get stuff like that on the charity page on Facebook. Again, that's Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K, or something like this lovely Zenoscope Grim Fairy Tales cover book, Volume 2, right here. It's a nice hardcover book, thick book with a lot of art in it. All this stuff is available to bid on, or it has a buy it now price with shipping included. And all proceeds from stuff on the auction site goes towards helping those kids. Last month, February 22nd was CB4K Day. We raised $800, sent that over. Awesome thing. I'm so thankful to the community. I'm humbled for that turnout. It was a great thing. And, the way that you can say, people go, oh, $800 isn't much. It's $25 a box of 125 copies of a book. So for $25, you can send, there it is right there. There's the $800 that was sent over. I had to send the last bit over, just waiting on some payments and, people's stuff to get there, because I don't send the money till you receive your stuff in good order. But, $25 is one box of comics, pops, Pez dispensers, coloring books, to a hospital. $25. You're helping 125 kids for $25. That's the best feeling in the world. You're helping a parent who might see their child smile for the last time because they received this awesome gift that was given from CB4K. And you can't put a price on a parent seeing a child smile for the last time. You can't. And so they're doing the Lord's work through that. And so I'm super excited about it. And this comic book project's kind of something underground I did. I didn't ask permission from Mark, because this is under my veil. It'll be Russ Explode Studios. I'm unveiling a new brand underneath of me, Explode Comics, stories that'll blow your mind. And this is going to be a cute thing. I'm super excited about this, because every copy sold, that money will be used to overprint copies. I want to get thousands of these books in the hospital, because not only is this a great thing because we're helping kids, it's a great thing because we're helping new kids get into comics, but we're also helping spread the word about CB4K, because each book will talk about CB4K. It'll talk about Roderick and his heart surgeries and all the things he's had to overcome in his life. And the story will teach kids to overcome the obstacles in their life. So there's just so many great things with this, and I'm excited. We're launching the 19th. I'm on the Catch the Craze podcast with Sam Vera and George Medina. I'll be going live with them. I'll be launching it around 8:30 Central Time, PM. And so April 19th, it's going to go. We got like $1,000 goal going 30 days. Keeping it simple. Everything's going to have trade dresses. I'm not going to do virgins and metals and all that, because it's taken away from me being cost effective to send more books to the hospitals. You guys are going to get high quality books, but we're not going to do the whole jazz of, oh, get this metal cover for $150. I don't want to complicate things. I want it to be simple. I want you to read a great book, and I want you to help kids read a great book. So there will be AP copies available. All of the people, everyone donated their time. I want to talk about them real quick. Thank you to Rodney Fike. Rodney Fike did the main cover and the illustrations. Chuck Pino did the editing for the book. We also have Jason Meadows, is who will be doing the lettering for the book. We've got April Grady Reyna and CB Zane, as well as Stuff Wilson and Carrie Ann. They all did variant covers for the book as well, so we'll have 4 covers. So thank you. Every one of those guys or gals donated their time to this book to help make this book a success and get more books into the hands of children. And I couldn't thank the community more. These are great people who've worked with me on a constant basis. And I'm humbled the fact that people are willing to give their time up to do something like this. That's how big of an impact this charity is going to make through all the work that these people have given. It's awesome. So there will be some special holofoil copies. You guys will be able to get. Each one of the people that have donated their time to this book is going to get AP copies of the book that are going to be holofoil. So you can get a chance at one of those limited edition holofoils. It just won't be through the Kickstarter. So I want everybody to know. You're going to go on there and you're going to be like, April cover, Rodney cover, Steph cover, CB cover, all 4 covers. That's it. That's it. We're keeping this simple. And there's a squee Taylor tier, which Piggy Girl is going to squee with excitement because you bought 10 copies of this book. Any cover you want, you can get 3, 4, 2, whatever you want of each cover. You can choose the covers that are part of the 10, but you get the squee Taylor tier, and Piggy Girl is going to squee with excitement that you want to put this book in your retail store. And if you get the Meow-tastic retailer tier, CatCat will meow with excitement to know that you want to put 20 copies of CatCat and Piggy Girl in your retail store. So that's the gist of it, folks. 6 tiers. There's going to be some add-ons. We might be adding some 3D figure prints on there. We'll do some limited edition stuff. Stuff that will just be fun to help raise money for kids. But at the bottom line, at the end of the day, no matter what I say about CatCat and Piggy Girl, everything on there is going to be going towards getting these books to kids. And I want that to be the thing that gets hammered home is you're not spending money, $50 on a variant cover that you're going to hang on the wall, or you're not spending, $100 to get that naughty cover. You're spending $30 on a great story. The remainder of the money is going to go to help children, 100% of it. Because CB4K is a 401c, IRS recognized charity. They don't keep anything. 100% goes to getting books and stuff to kids. And if you want to check out more about CB4K, you can go to cb4k.org. That's CB, the number 4, and then k.org, and check all that out. But I'm amped. Everybody's amped about it. We're going to try to go live this Saturday, bring all the creators in, do like an hour-long session, bring each one on. We'll talk about their pieces, and I'll link that to the Kickstarter. So I'm pretty excited. Awesome. Sorry, guys, I'm long-winded. I'm making your job easy. Can you tell I run a podcast?
Yeah. This is a clean site, too. It's awesome.
Well, and here's the thing. So Funko Pop, Pez, we've got IDW. There you go, right there. Scroll down again. So these are, keep growing, a little more. These are all the sponsors. Every one of these companies is a part of CB4K. Funko, Pez, Diamond Distributing, Image, IDW, Oni Press, Dark Horse. Every one of these corporations sends stuff to Comic Books for Kids. We get pallets upon pallets of books, pop figurines, and the thing is, we've got to ship all this stuff out. So all this money that is raised through CB4K auctions, all the money that is donated to the charity through like the Comic-Cons and stuff. You might see me at a Comic-Con. I'll be pushing stuff there that I'm auctioning. All that money goes to help ship the stuff that these great companies send to CB4K to the hospitals. Because, stuff gets to CB4K, it's just getting it to the hospitals is the problem. We all know how much shipping is.
Yeah.
And they also have a Canada distribution center now. So Canada was about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And then something that was just announced recently, there's now CB4K in the UK. So excited to be able to let people know that, because you guys would be blown away at the amount of messages I get from people in the United Kingdom, from England, and stuff that say, "Hey, I love this charity. I want to buy this and help support the kids. Is there any way we can get this over here?" And I'm like, "We're working on it." You know?
Yeah, CB4K UK.
Yeah, exactly. So like literally, I think a month and a half ago, this has gotten the green light, and so and then there is also a sister company to CB4K. It's Comic Books for Troops, CB4T. So all the books that get donated to CB4K that goes, yeah, this is a no for kids. Yeah, this is a no for kids too. All those books, say you got a bunch of books you want to offload that are, just like dollar bin books, and you got like long boxes of them. You're like, I don't know what to do with these because they don't sell. Drop them off at CB4K. They will send them to the troops overseas, the troops that are stationed all over the U.S. It's also another great charity, giving books to the troops, giving them something to do. It's a cool thing. You can check that out at CB4T, almost said K.org. So.
Oh, it's to say CB4T.org. I was trying to look for it. Oh, it's on the top of the page. That's why. Okay. I see it. Yeah, where is it? Share screen. Yeah, like on the top section here.
Yep, comic books for troops. So like I always get that question. Well, I got these books, but they're not
kid friendly. Yeah.
Not good. Yeah, they're not kid friendly. I'm like, it goes to the troops. So there's pictures of the troops. You guys can see everything on here. The thank you notes from the hospitals. There you go, right there. Over 125,000 comics donated to the troops in the last 12 months. 125,000.
That's awesome.
That's spectacular. And so, this is just an awesome charity. It's something that I advocate hard for. I've got a critical illness child. He's going to have open heart surgeries for the rest of his life. We're getting ready to go in the next year for another surgery. It's something hard for me as a father, to see, which leads into, this. When I rewrote book 1 for Xenon Anti-Titan. Back when I wrote this 10 years ago, I didn't have kids. Well, now it's been 12 years ago. Sorry. I keep saying 10 years ago because I've been saying that for so long. 12 years ago when I wrote this book, I didn't have kids. So I rewrote this. Every interaction in here is the interaction. It's the way my kids talk to me. And this is, about a father from the viewpoint of a father, of all the adversities we've went through over the last few years. They found a tumor, and then they closed down. Well, I had to go back to work because of COVID. My wife wasn't working. I had 2 kids. I was sick, but I still went to work every day. And I was out there, fighting to keep my family going. And my 3rd day back to work, I got hit head on the way home. So now I've got, my C6 and 7's blown. I just got injections in that. My L1 and 2, 4, and 5 is messed up. But I got surgery scheduled on the 27th of this month to go in and try to put a chip in to block the pain. I have been kind of silent lately. So for anybody that's like, I just disappeared over the last 2 weeks. I've been doing really bad with the pain. I've been really down and out with it. Wednesday, I was in the hospital again. My sciatica was so bad I couldn't even stand on my own legs. I'm like, hey, fix me. I got to go to work, because I'm still fighting for my family. So, I am down and out. You may not see a whole lot of me, but Rodney, Tina, and all the other people that are part of this Kickstarter are going to help me push it really hard. And, I'm hoping this does really good. And if you want to support me in doing more great stuff, please pick up a copy of Xenon Anti-Titan. I'm telling you guys, this book is phenomenal. It's a lot of fun. I'm working on book 2 now. Unfortunately, I was going to launch it in March, but then my wife and kids got hit head on by a drunk driver last year. So we had to go buy a new vehicle because they didn't have insurance. And so my entire book fund went out the window. So, we're still fighting through all this stuff. Life happens, but you know what? That's what books are for. It's our escapism into words, which lead to your escapism because you read it and you want to get out of your life and read about somebody else's crap. Right?
Yeah. That's excellent. Yeah. It's crazy. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's like encouraging to see people that, go through tough times and they're still like, but yeah, I'm still here, I'm still fighting. So it's definitely something that I feel like more people need to hear, because like there's some people that they're going through tough times, but like not really. Like like there's always somebody who has it worse. There's always somebody who needs to fight, and you're you're racking up your list pretty high, and yet you're still going. So that's incredible.
Well, I mean, the thing is this is the best saying ever is, the biggest dreams you'll ever find are at the grave, because most people never make their dreams come true. So why wait until tomorrow? Do it today, because tomorrow might not be there, you know?
Mhm.
I mean, it's the truth of it. And that's when I found out I possibly had cancer. I was like, this is it, you know, because I just lost my grandfather to cancer in September, before I found out that they found the tumor on my liver. Then they found another tumor on my spine. And so, you know, it was just fresh in my mind. You know, I just buried my grandpa. Well, then I just lost my grandpa again in January. My other grandpa had stomach cancer. They found out on New Year's. I just had a full nerve burn done on my back. And so I was kind of down and out and couldn't go visit him in the hospital. Well, then I ended up getting COVID and the flu, even though I was vaccinated against both of them. I don't know how I got it. I was the only one. And so I got the flu Rona, and
The flu Rona.
he was supposed, yeah, the flu Rona. And so he was supposed to come home on Thursday, and then Friday was the end of my quarantine. And so I made plans to go see him Saturday, and that Saturday morning he passed away. And so I didn't get a chance to see him. So it really hit hard. So I mean, the year started out kind of rough, but I'm still kicking ass and taking names. I'm working on Stuff Pool Circle of Destruction, which is a card game that I funded in November. So I'm pushing that. It's a lot of fun. It's making fun of Steph Wilson. It's a huge joke between him and I, and a lot of the people that watch Steph. You know, it was something that came to be. He started doing You Can Draw. And I'm like, how can I make this fun? Because that's me. I don't care, you know, what other people think. I just like to have fun. I mean, there needs to be a lot more people in the world that stop caring. We'd have a lot more cool stuff out there. And I was like, how can I make this more fun? I'm like, I got it. We'll do a cross between Deadpool and Steph Pool. And so, like, it's our Deadpool and Steph, and then make it Steph Pool. So we started out, the first thing we drew was, like, it was Godzilla ripping the water tower off of the top of a building. And so we always talk about Wild Room Studios with Jesse Witchman, which is another artist. And I was like, so I made it Jesse Witchman's Wild Room, and Godzilla was drinking the water tower off of the top of his thing. And then the next week we did something about, I don't even remember. Oh, burritos. And so somebody eating burritos. So I made it Steph Pool eating a burrito, and he blew up Jesse Witchman's Wild Room bathroom. And like the whole place was just destroyed. And so, like, it grew into something. I've got like a whole book full of sketches each week that I did. A lot of them I gave away in the Zimmerman Titan Kickstarter. Everybody got either a Steph Pool original from when I first started drawing them, or if they asked for specific characters, I drew them for them. And I'm actually pretty proud of some of them. I did I did Critter, and I did Darth Vader. Darth Vader actually turned out pretty good. Darth Vader was Steph Pool. And a mermaid and all kinds of stupid stuff.
It sounds like what's it called? Cards Against Humanity in comic book format.
Oh yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever played Unstable Unicorns before?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. It's the best card game ever. You got to go buy it. Unstable Unicorns is awesome. So this is kind of like Unstable Unicorns in a way. So the idea that I came up with Steph Pool Circle of Destruction was, how can I make a card game that helps the indie creators out? And I'm like, okay, so let's reach out to some indie creators and say, can I use your character? So I reached out to Chuck Pino and Sean Barber about Belial, and I'm like, hey, can I use Link for one of the cards? So, all right, folks, we're going a little rated M here. Not bad, super bad. But we've got in Belial 2, there's a scene that involves a porta potty. And so in the Safe for Work version, Link from Belial 2 traps you in a porta potty and you lose your turn. And in the not Steph Pool for Work editions, the Steph Pool for Work and the not Steph Pool for Work edition. The not Steph Pool for Work edition, it becomes the glory hole porta shitter of doom.
The glory.
And you still lose a turn. But I'm like, it was
same output, yeah.
But it was a fun way to make a fun card game. And then when you look at the bottom of the card, it's got instant.com, where you can go on there and you can get their book. There's so many creators that I reached out to that are like, yeah, use my stuff. I don't care. They're like, I can't wait to see what you draw up. And so all these cards are drawn by me. It's shitty art with witty humor because I'm not an artist, I'm an author. And each one includes a link. You can go to the creator. So this is something fun. You bring your friends over, you play the game. You're like, this is hilarious. And then you look at the bottom, like, oh, there's a link. Well, then that person that thinks that joke on that card is so funny, and it's actually something that happens in the book that I tailored to my own doom darkness. And they can go to that website, buy a copy of the book. It's a cool way to get people interested in indie books and stuff like that because you're playing this card game and like you're like, oh my god, this joke's hilarious. Like we won't even talk about what the stop card is. I don't want to. Well, we will. Instead of you got a standard card in the standard stuffable version of the game where it's just like a card that stops your move, and in the not stuffable for work edition, your move gets anal bleached.
I forgot that we did give you a character from Chronicles of Horror, but I didn't know which one, and then I actually like looked through our messages. I was like, oh, it's the Goblin character. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, the Goblin character.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So this was just a fun idea, and it's something I like to do. You know, we're a community, and lately things have been so dark. I don't understand what's going on in the last few months. There's a lot of people fighting. Let's just suck our shit up. Let's get together and help each other make great shit. You know, let's stop the drama. And you know, that's why I do what I do. You know, I'm here, Rush Explode Studios. I bring people on to talk about their inspirations. It's like, you know, let's not just talk about your book. Let's talk about what inspired you to do your book. What inspired you to get into comics? Because everybody has that story. You know, this is what I wanted to do my whole life. But everybody told me you can't make a living doing that. So I did this for a while. Well, then this happened. And now I do this. And now I'm the happiest I've ever been because I finally done it. Nobody ever gets to hear those stories. It's always, well, I got this project going on. We're going to be doing this. And so, you know, we got Zillion Untitled Book 2 coming soon. So anyway, so, you know, you get to hear these stories from these creators, you know, the stuff that, you know, you go to a Comic-Con to find out, but they got a line of 100 people, so you don't really get a chance to talk to them. This is your chance. Come on the podcast. Come on Rush Explode Studios, Witch the Heart, and say, you know, hey, why do you do this? What's this character? Why is the character like this? The stuff that you want to know, that's what these shows are about. Come find out about the creator. Because, you know, the number one thing is sell yourself. You know, people have to like you to like your product, you know. And
yeah,
you know,
that's huge in like any artist world too. Like you definitely want to make sure that there's so many stories out there. There's so much content. Like we tell this to like music artists as well. Like there's so much content being created that there's going to be someone that probably looks, sounds, you know, draws just like you. So what's different? It's you. Like, so you have to like stand out.
right.
You have to put yourself out there, share your story, because I might like your comic and the 18 other versions that other people created, but why do I buy yours? It's because I like you versus the 17 other people.
That's right. And that's what the show's all about, is selling yourself. You know, come show people who you really are. And like, I try not to be PC or, you know, it's like I tell people, you're not going to offend me. Come on. And you say something off the wall. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to kick you out of my studio. Like, you know, you're being yourself. I'm not selling you. You're selling you. So be who you are. I'm not going to come on here and be like, oh, you can't say this, you can't do that. Like, cause you know, people get on, they're like, well, like, so like, what are the rules here? And I'm like, well, there are no rules. And they're like, well, so I can say whatever. I'm like, yeah,
like see rule number one.
Yeah, it's the rule number one. There are no rules. I mean, and I like to do it that way just because, I mean, yeah, could I get in trouble on online for it? Yeah, but I haven't had a problem, you know, in the 3 years I've been doing this, you know, people have come on and they've been themselves, and people have enjoyed that more because people are genuinely who they are. I mean, you can't go into someplace walking on eggshells and be yourself and you're not going to like give your 100% because you're gonna be like, oh, can I say this? Or
Yeah.
Can I do that? So I give people the opportunity to come on and be themselves. So, I mean, we have a lot of fun. So if you guys want to check those out, I'm retooling my schedule because I kind of stopped the shows for a little bit to work on me because I've been so down and out. But I'll be live Tuesday with Zyver Ronan, and I'll be live on Saturday with a special blast cast for CatCat and Piggy Girl. We'll be bringing on the creators for that. You can find me on YouTube at Rush Explode Studios. You can find me on Facebook at Rush Explode Studios Books with Heart, or on Twitch at Rush Explode. I stream to all 3 platforms every time. So we have a lot of fun on there. Blastcast gets just out of hand. Just ask Greg. Greg's like, what the hell did I get myself into? Like, he was like, this is the worst show I've ever been on. It is, though, because, like, listen, like everybody does these shows, and they're all, like, highbrow, and they're like, you know, you're on there to sell stuff. And then, like, we have the Saturday show, which is like Blastcast, where it's like this weekend they'll be a little more tailored to be serious because we're talking about the charity and stuff. But most of the time, it's like, it's Saturday night. Everybody's wore out. We've had a shit week. We're tired of working. And we just want to just lay around and just BS and just talk about crazy stuff. So that's what Blastcast is. Blastcast is like that one chat where you're at the bar hanging out with your friends and you're just talking about stupid stuff. Like, oh my God, like Jizz Be Gone. That was a huge joke for a long time. That's actually on Kickstarter right now.
Nice.
I'm not joking. I'm dead serious. It's got 6 days left on it.
Is it doing good?
Huh?
Is it doing good? Is it funded?
Yeah, it's funded. It's funded. Yep.
They accepted that on there.
What was the name again?
Jizz Be Gone. Seriously, look it up. I'm not even joking. Just put in JIZZ. It's the first thing that pops up on there. Oh, so Kickstarter emailed me and said they thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Seriously?
Yeah. Dead serious. Like, could you imagine the person that checked out that campaign and they were like, yeah, Project We Love. There it is right there. 16 backers, 1,071. It was just a joke. Like, we were joking around. You know, we had Stone Abdullah on talking about Journey of the Shadow, and he has all of his waifu posters. And I said, are you going to include a bottle of Jizz Be Gone with that? And he goes, what? And I said, haven't you ever seen that movie Envy with Jack Black where he invents the Poo Be Gone spray? And like everybody's like, where does the poop go? And so it turned in from a spray, like we actually sublimated towels as a gag gift. And that's not all that's on there. There's custom towels. You could get SeerNova on a towel instead. Yeah, the custom tumblers. Those are the custom snow globe tumblers that we actually make. I have nicknamed them the Cumbler. And see, this is what it's about. Not caring and having fun. There's Xenon Anti-Titan. My wife made that mug for me and there was an idea. You can get the custom towel tier like me. You know, I could do Xenon Anti-Titan. There's custom t-shirts on there. With me having back surgery, I may be out of work. This was like a fun way. I told my wife, I said, you know, I know it's a stupid idea, Jizz Be Gone, but it's a fun idea to advertise your business. You know, she does custom t-shirts. She does custom towels, custom
Sorry, the glasses. The safety glasses. Yeah, you got me.
Go to the next one. It gets worse.
There's a stretch goal. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a way of advertising my wife's business. If something happens, if the surgery goes wrong,
the soul leaving the body look. Just the.
She's like, I can't believe my.
What have I done? Yeah. That's
so
amazing.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, we had a lot of fun. You know, we have fun on the show. Like I said, it's just a show to unwind and be stupid. Sometimes stuff legitimately comes true, and we do it just for the heck of it. I mean. The reason why that was born was because literally some guy over in Europe sold $93,000 on a Kickstarter selling his canned pee. He peed in the vat for 2 years, and he kept it, and he canned it in aluminum cans with foil tops. They're not even sealed with a pop top. They're sealed with foil, and he's going to ship them worldwide. So just imagine like one of those foil lids busts open. You got some
so when the 2-year-old, like, is there anything hazardous or?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, how do you mail that? Like, you can't mail bodily fluid.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. So we were joking around, like, who buys $93,000 worth of pee? Like, for one can, it was like $400, or you get a 6-pack for $1,800. And we were like, this is absurd.
So
I'm like, screw it, we're doing Jizz Be Gone. People bought pee. Somebody somewhere is going to find this hilarious.
It's like dreams really can come true.
And so I was like, you know, so in the description, I'm like, get it as a gag gift. Give it as a coming of age gift.
Coming of age gift.
Yeah, that
should be one of the tiers.
That is a tier. It's called the Spank Bank. It's the 10 white towel tier. See? So I should have called it the 13-year-old boy. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so it was that was the funny thing about it. It was just joking around about it, making it into something true, and sublimating it and just having fun with it. It was, I'm like, what the hell, if it sells, it sells. If it don't, it don't. At least we advertised my wife's business. We had fun. It was a cool joke, and it is what it is. I'm kind of jealous though. She funded her first project. Mine didn't.
Yeah, that's probably because of this. What is it? Mega Sex Connoisseur. Yeah, that's
the Mega Sex Connoisseur. Nobody's backed that one yet. But no, it's because of the Tumblr. Like that was the funniest thing that everybody loved, and I think we have like 25 of them backed. Like either through add-ons or through the tier, because you can get a custom one. It doesn't have to be that. We can do any type of snow globe tumbler. I put that in there. So if you want some cool sparkly snow globe tumbler, or you can get the tumbler, whichever one you want. But we have like 25 of those. My wife's like, oh my God, people bought that many. She's like, I'm like, hey, I don't hear any complaints. Hey, you're talking about you wanted to do all these snow globe tumblers because they're so much fun. Like, and I get 25 of them to do. She's like, oh, I'm not complaining. Okay, if you're gonna help me, like I already do. I drill the holes. Like that was one of the funny jokes that I got on there about. Is we started out blast casting, and like literally like 10 minutes before, my wife's like, hey, come drill my hole. And I was like, what? And she had the cup in her hand because I have to drill the holes in the cup for her to be able to put the glitter and the fluid inside the tumbler and then seal it up and everything. And I'm like, what did you say? She's like, come drill my holes. And she's like, in the cup. And I was like, well, blast cast tonight is canceled, folks. So we have fun on there. We let loose and have a good time, and that's what I'm all about. Be yourself, have fun. People out there are gonna look down on you and judge you. So what? Your true friends are the ones that stick around and think they have fun with you, and we have a blast. We really do. I mean, that's why I call it blast cast, because we just let loose and unwind and just we are who we are. We can't change that. I'm not gonna. It's not my goal to be out here to what's the word I'm looking for?
Judge?
No, not judge. Impress anyone. I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm out here to be me, have fun. You like me, you don't, you don't. And like I lost 2 followers over Jizz Be Gone. I was so ripped in half about it. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through the rest of my life, folks. I think this is gonna be the one thing that the straw that breaks the camel's back. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really did lose 2 followers, so I was like, really? Really? This is what it took for me to lose you? Like, there's far worse stuff than this, people.
It's like, I've been trying to do this forever. I finally got rid of it.
But yeah, no. I mean, and I don't know. It is what it is. Like, it's funny. I mean, you guys laughed. And that I almost made a dude die at work yesterday. Like, he inhaled a cough drop. He was laughing so hard. They were talking. Well, because the glasses. Well, I had a meme that went with it. It said, did you know that semen comes out at 20 miles per hour? Carol didn't, and it's got her with a walking stick.
That's awesome.
And so, like, I deliver oil to businesses. It's my main job. I have 2 jobs. I work at a dealership on Saturdays, and then during the week I work a full-time job. I drive a tanker truck and I deliver bulk oil to dealerships and stuff like that. So I was at one of the dealerships, and it's this group of guys that we always joke around about stupid stuff, and it was my last stop of the day. And I mean, I get there and this guy's just in like the worst mood. I was like, are we in a mood today? And everybody's like, and I was like, man, looks like you could use some Jizz Be Gone. And I thought he was going to call over. He's like, use some what? I'm like, oh, yeah, man, it's still available. It's got 6 days left on it. I pull it out. I start doing the whole spiel. Like, before I know it, there's like 10 guys around me, and they're all laughing about it. And I was like, oh, and it gets better, too. If we get to $2,000, you get these safety glasses. Because did you know that semen comes out at 20 miles per hour? Well, Carol did, and I showed him the name. And I mean, these guys were just rolling. And I was like, and that's not all, folks. If you get us to $5,000, you get your own collapsible clothes basket known as the cum dumpster. And it was at that point that he inhaled so hard to laugh, he inhaled a cough drop and fell over. And this was the guy that was in a bad mood. So, like, we were all like, oh my God, he's going to die. He's, like, over there choking to death. And so, like, after everything settled down and like, everybody was, like, asking for the links and stuff to it, I was like, so how's your Friday now? He goes, so much better. I needed that. Thank you. And so I left and everybody had a smile on their face. So, see, I did my job. You know, I'm making my point every day to go out of my way to make sure somebody gets lifted up. I mean, everybody has a shit day. You never know what's going on in someone else's life. Let's not tear each other down. Let's build each other up. That's my motto. Going back to the whole inspirations thing. So yesterday, off of some stupid project that was brought up on a stupid unloading show. That's not the proper term.
Unloading.
And so, you know, that's the goal of the day, is to, you know, you never know what somebody else is going through. Make somebody else's day better, because in the end, you'll feel better. You could have the worst day of your life. And, you know, like a true story, I'll tell this real quick. You know, I've been doing these shows for 3 years, and I had a life coach on. I bring on anybody. I've had chefs and stuff like that. I would have to say one of my most successful moments on the show was I was at work. One of the guys that I know from Colombia, 2.5 hours away from me from a stop, that has my number, never called me, never texted me, never, you know, I had his number just for like when I needed to get into the dealership because they would lock the door and I couldn't get in. Never called, never texted me. Got on there and watched the show, and watched that show with that life coach. Had some stuff going on in his life. I'm driving through Warrenton and I barely got any service. The phone rings and I see Will's number on the phone. And I'm like, this dude's never called me, never texted me. So I pull off. And I answer the phone. I'm like, what's up, dude? And he's like, hey, man, what's going on? You know, you got a little bit to talk? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, well, I just wanted to know you really changed my life. And I was like, what? And he said, I watched your show last night with the life coach. He's like, I've been going through some really rough times for the last couple of months, and all my friends that I thought were friends that won't talk to me. He's like, I've lost, you know, had losses in my family, and I've been just really feeling alone, like not having any friends, and I've just been in a really bad place. And, you know, watching your show last night made me think about a few things, and he's like, it really changed my life. He's like, and I really want to get, you know, one of your books and stuff and check it out. And so, you know, after talking to him, like, it made me cry, you know, to think that just doing a show for an hour and a half, you know, that night, I saved somebody's life. I saved somebody from taking their life because they were in a deep, dark spot. And, you know, so if you don't think that what you do in this world, you know, like me doing this comic book for CB4K, at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't do good and you only send 100 copies out, I'm going to be happy with that. I'm not going to sit there and go, I didn't do anything, you know, this didn't do good, you know, woe is me, nobody bought the book. I'm going to be excited that if I get to send them 100 books, because it only takes one person's life to change. And, you know, the fact that doing a podcast saved somebody that I know's life from them taking their life, from being in a dark spot, it lifted them up. They got my book, read my book. My book inspired them. Now he's taking his angst and everything that's going on in his life, and he's writing his own book, not to sell it, not to publish it, just because he wants to write his own story. So, you know, you never know what kind of inspirations you may give another person, what kind of impact you're going to make on their life with what you do. So, you know, I'm glad to know that what I do does that for other people, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. I don't care if I sell 1 million copies of my book or 100 million comic books. It's hearing that one story that makes all of it worth it. So that's what we strive for, making an impact.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely cool to, like, there's people that are, you know, huge and like they get those phone calls sometimes, but like really, like an individual person, you don't have to be a massive success to really change somebody's life. So it's very cool to. It's also rare though you ever get the call to hear that, because like a lot of the times you might be helping somebody. If, like, for every one that calls you, there's probably 10 more that didn't. Right? Yeah. There's probably 10 other people out there that they had that same impact, and, you know, they're just on their way. Like, they're just like, thanks, and they keep moving. So it's very cool that to actually get that call.
Yeah, it's vindication, man. It's satisfaction for doing what you do. You know, it's for the low times when you feel like you're not doing anything. You're wasting your time. You're spending all this money and all this time, for nothing. And which I don't ever feel that. I love helping my fellow indies out, bringing them on the shows, letting them talk about themselves and their stuff, and finding out about them, finding out more about them as a person. I love doing it. I wouldn't change it for the world. But it's even more vindicating to find out that hey, I made a difference in somebody's life today, even though I didn't know I did, through something I did a week ago or last night or, 2 months ago, because they came across my video online that this show made an impact. It's making an impact.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think you've shouted them out a couple of times, but if you had to drive people to like one spot, where's the number one spot you want to be sending people right now?
So guys, go to Russ Explode Studios, Books with Heart on my Facebook. Please go check that out. You can find everything on there. My website's at the top of the page. There's also a link to Russ Explode Studios charity auctions for CB4K. Those are the three main things right there. And there should be my link tree on there as well. Nope, it's not on there. I'll add it on there. I have a link tree which will take you guys to everything from my Kickstarter page to my Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everything. I'm on everything. Just Google Russ Explode. I mean, you Google Russ Explode. No, that was the GoFundMe I had up for a little while. I was going in for spine surgery, and those are just pictures. A lot of that stuff on there.
Yeah. You're gonna put it here though, the link tree.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna put the link tree there.
So then here's the thing right there.
Yep, Russ Explode Studios, Books with Heart. Yeah, the link tree will go right there with the ZoneNaniteTitan.com. But yeah, you'll be able to find me or Google Russ Explode. Like I said, if you Google Russ Explode, they're all me. All 7,462 of them.
Cool.
Nice.
Well,
awesome. Thanks a lot for having me on today, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks for letting me talk about the stuff, guys. Please, please, please back, share, like, comment on all the posts for CatCat and Piggy Girl. This is going to be making a difference. If there's any project that I want to do double digits, I want this project to do double digits. I want to send Mark so many comic books, he's going to pass out and just be like, I don't know what to do with all these. Because they have 160 hospitals now. So effectively, I'd like to do like 3,000 comic books to be able to send to them, because that'll give them the opportunity to, at least send 100 books to 30 hospitals, so, or 50 books to 60 hospitals, and get these books out there to these kids.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for coming on.